This is a resume. It can get you interviews, approval, and most importantly, respect. But what it cannot create is demand. That's why many educated Indians enter business with confidence and later exit with confusion, losses, and debt. When I was in school, I didn't want to be average, just like anyone else. I used to think that if I studied hard, things would fall into places for me. Fast forward to now, and India produces millions of graduates every year. And how many of them manage to start a successful business? We have shows like Shark Tank, but the sharks themselves are not that profitable, and they are mainly there to inflate their valuation. And graduates like you and me, we struggle to secure a good enough job while the Pani Puri wala outside your office earns more than an average employee. But how did we end up here? The answer is simple. Historically, formal education in India was modeled to create clerks for the British government. And we all know how much we evolved from there, right? So even when we try to start a business, it immediately becomes a job in disguise. Again, that's because our education is the very thing that is holding us back. Most people don't even know what a business looks like. They confuse self-employment with actual business, simply because you're not working under a boss. For example, if you have a passion for cooking and you want to open a restaurant, you are actually falling for a job masked as a business. But why so? Here, your income is directly bound by the amount of time and effort you dedicate, the location, and its footfall. It's not scalable. And because it's not scalable, it's not actually a business. On the contrary, a food outlet franchisee is much more scalable as a business idea. Because when it's built, you are no longer limited by your time or geographical location. Now, most people get so excited about starting something of their own that they don't even test whether their business model is practical. And by the time the cash burning phase is over, you're left broken and hopeless. But how do you avoid that? Simple. You go to Amazon, you select the book category, and then you order the Lean Startup. In this book, you will learn the concept of MVP. No, it's not most valuable player. It's the minimum viable product. Instead of breaking your bank building something complete or polished, you create the smallest possible version to test whether people actually care enough to use or pay for it. For example, let's talk about Zerodha. Before them, stock trading in India was expensive, clunky, and built to benefit brokers more than the traders. So, the idea was to introduce a low-cost tech-enabled platform to remove the commissions, the complexity, and the sales noise. But they didn't start with a fully developed platform. They started small, a lean product, a niche audience of serious traders, and one clear promise. It will be simpler and cheaper. And when the demand proved real, they scaled. Today, Zerodha is India's largest retail brokerage by active clients, and its model forced every traditional broker to adapt to a new reality. That's what a working MVP looks like. You don't build everything all at once. You start small, but when you have proof for demand, you scale. But how do you do it? Suppose you want to build a D2C brand selling protein-rich snacks. The idea is simple. The new generation wants to get fit, but they don't want to compromise on taste either. So there is a real gap. But is it profitable? Here's how to figure out. Instead of setting up a factory, buying inventory, or creating a distribution network, you start by partnering with small manufacturer, launching 3 products, selling only through Amazon, Flipkart, or even Instagram, and running ads targeting gym goers in 2 cities. If the customers reorder, within 30 days, you have already validated taste market fit, pricing acceptance, brand stickiness, and repeat demand. So now you can scale into own production, national logistics, and retail distribution. But even when you're ready to expand, things can still go wrong. Here's how to detect and solve problems even before they appear. You need to understand that you're not selling the drilling machine. You are selling the whole. Okay, that came out really wrong. What I mean to say is that your buyer is hiring your product to do a very specific job, and you need to document the journey from the moment they hire the product to the moment that the product completes the job. Imagine a young IT worker finishing a late shift, stepping out of the office with mild hunger, but no time for a proper meal. They walk past a convenience store, or scroll through a quick commerce app looking for something that feels both indulgent and responsible. They pause at a shelf or a product image, scanning packaging that promise protein, low sugar, or clean ingredients. Now, ask yourself this: what obstacle or moment of frustration they may face along the way? Maybe delivery takes too long, the portion feels too small, the taste doesn't match the expectation created by the packaging, or maybe the pricing is too high. Now, your task is to improve the experience by removing all these obstacles. You can do it by ensuring faster delivery on delivery apps, adjusting portion size, or refining the flavor so the snack feels genuinely filling. The new experience must feel significantly better than the customer's current choices, because trying something new comes with a certain level of hesitation. But when the experience is amazing, the product has a chance to become the part of their daily routine instead of just another brand they tried once. If it sounds like a lot of work, you are not wrong. It is actually a lot to handle. And that's why you shouldn't just quit your job and start a business like that. Pulling off a successful business is a lot harder than maintaining a 9-to-5 job. If you can't even manage that, don't risk your life savings on a hunch. At least, unless you watch this video. Now, if it was helpful, please like and subscribe. So when you have something to sell, I have enough following to run your ads. I'll just leave you with that, and thanks for watching.